it to have a fit on me. So I'm going to start this over. I see that we're doing a couple of different brushes on the bunkers here, which is fine. I like the idea that we have going on here with the cliffs. And doing straight big cliffs like this is really hard, so I'm not gonna fuss too much about it. I think that the tee shot's okay. I think that the bunkers, like I said yesterday on the course, you probably could have dialed the bunkers up a little bit as far as their sculpting goes, but that's okay. This wind is going to be an exciting thing to play with. If you guys can't hear me or if there's a problem, let me know. Because again, I had to restart OBS because there was like a video card crash or a driver problem. This one's not in there really good. It's also that's fine. This space over here, I'm wondering why we didn't utilize this part of the cliff too, and you know, bring the green right up to it, but instead moved away from it. That's fine. Just I would like to see the cliff utilized all the way down instead of just part way. Give me a quick Heidi ho or whatever if you can hear me okay, if I'm back up and running. If I don't see it on the stream here in a minute, I'm going to shut her down and restart it again. Ba-dum. Heidi ho and a yo. Nice, thank you. Thank you, new follower who can hear me fine. He got a little Flanders going on down there. It is the last of the TGCTCCCDC19 Blu-ray box set and DD have to go pee-pee. Whatever it is. All those words and letters that go together. I'm up here for like 5 minutes and I hear my children downstairs just screaming bloody murder. This is a little different look for you, violin guy. Not totally different, but a little bit. Yeah, I'm always good on oh, well, the movie one is different. The movie one is in a world where one man wanted to play dang golf courses. That kind of thing. But they said, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" And then down. And then you can get into the old yellow, mellow yellow thing. Oh, yeah. Well, that was a crappy swing. Let's see how many of those we can pull off. This is a good time. Let's see. Again, yeah, our cliff utilization is okay. I don't know. I feel like this one doesn't have quite as much flair so far, as your last one did. All right, I'm done taking dumb shots. Let's actually play smart today, shall we? Let's do it.
Let's play intelligently with our brains.
I don't have no brains. I want to go outside and eat peanut butter.
Peanut butter, you say? Yes, I do. All right, well, enough of this fiddling around. I'm really tired, so I'm going to say some stupid things today. Just, you know, go with it. I'm also going to do that a lot today. It's going to be bad. Hey, Ariel, I would suggest you just leave that right alone. That's just going to be my suggestion this morning. Let's see this. We got, oh, goodness gracious. Violin guy, what are you doing? Why is this hidden? Why do I have grass in my face when I'm trying to see all this loveliness that you've done then? This cliffside over here, wow, wow. This cliffside right here could have used a little more work. That's okay. But I just don't understand why I'm blocked off from seeing the par 3 that you've so painstakingly created. I don't think that's going to get there, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because I feel strong. I feel strong. Ooh, I am strong, like a strong like a bull. What-a-do? HB, you put grass in front of me, HB. I think this course would have benefited from some smaller mow lines too. I know that's a nitpicky thing. I just don't see. I see that you've done something. I guess maybe it's just a personal thing. I'm not seeing the same level of care that old Henry had. I could be totally wrong. This may be painstaking. Wow. I have an idea. Let's put fairway on both sides and then miss it in the middle. I'm probably totally wrong. This probably was a lot of hard work, and I'm sure it was. Please don't take this the wrong way, Violent Guy. I'm not saying you didn't do a hard work. I'm just saying I felt more of your design soul in the other one. This one's feeling slightly more, I don't know, put together. The other one felt a little more natural, even with all the hootenanny and whatnot and so forth. That's kind of a fun par 5. I mean, it's simple. I still think if you're going to have cliffs on your golf course, I feel like they need to come into play a little bit more instead of being only visual. And right now, they're not as in play. This par 3 is not doing much for me. We got a bunker, but it's way over here, and yet most of the green is long and to the other side. So is it a hazard or is it just a visual framing? Because if it's a framing, again, why not utilize our cliffs a little more or something? 16 miles an hour. I don't know if this is going to do it, but we're going to do it anyway. A fast perfect. That ought to be okay, actually. Yeah, still a little short. Still a little short. Oh, we've dropped to 3 viewers. Oh my gosh, I've said something offensive to 2 people. Dang it! Not trying hard enough. I need to offend the rest of you too. You all smell like bull sputum. There. That ought to do it. I don't mind it lying. It makes me feel funny inside. It makes me feel like I'm climbing the rope in gym class. That's a good call to make those areas out of bounds. Good work on your part. That's something a lot of folks miss. I've missed it before, and I feel like a complete moron every time I do it. Again, boy, I'd like to see these in play more. This one's a little more in play. But again, we're doing what I see people do all the time, where you've got an internal hazard like this or a lake, and we put a bunker on the inside of it. This one works a little better though, because you've actually got it in play for people who want to, get frisky. Because I was seriously considering that a second ago. Now, I'm not considering it anymore. Yeah, it's definitely a departure, and I feel like it's not quite as successful as the last one. I mean, we've got some big greens, which is okay as long as they're sloped properly. But some of these bunker shapes, I just feel like there wasn't the same level of care on some of them. And again, if I am wrong, then I am wrong. I'm just giving you my impression as a player. Well, I take that back. Not as a player. As a person who is playing. I would never call myself a player. I'm more of a player. Haha. Wow. I pulled that back and thought, oh, that's going to be way too hard. And so I was going to let go of it, but instead I swung through. Why? I don't know. Again, tired, really sleepy. Is there a reason that course creators in TGC games love those splatter-shaped bunkers everywhere? Yes. Yes, there is. One is because bunkers are a very easy way to create dynamic visuals. And, wow, I'm trying to determine what is going on here. Okay. Hole's okay. But one, yeah, it is a brush shape, but it's an easy way to create dynamic visuals without having to think about it a whole lot. The other is it's an easy hazard to come up with. Like using fairway roll to create a hazard is hard. Using just heavy rough to create a hazard is harder than people think. Bunkers are they're not necessarily on this course, so I'm not saying this, but bunkers can become a crutch, but they can also be very dynamic. Yeah, I tend to use, I'll use circle brushes and draw bunkers a lot of times. I'm okay with things not being totally realistic. I mean, it's a video game, for crying out loud. So it doesn't bother me from a realism standpoint. I think that they are used as crutches sometimes. There are folks out there who use them for framing specifically, but I think it's overdone. But it's a different style. I mean, everybody do your own thing. I just feel like if you're going to use some big fingery bunkers, use some sculpting in that to make them dynamic. I'm going to correct you there, Ariel Adam. I love Arctic Sphere. I love his stuff. I think the experience of playing those courses is amazing. The actual courses themselves are not always amazing. His last few, I think he's spent more time on the golf than some of the others. Well, see, I think there's more than just sculpting lacking on some of these. Some of the shapes on these seem like there just wasn't as much care put into it. Like this one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 bunkers put together. And you could have spent a little time here cleaning up these edges and making, if you're going to have fingers, you could have rounded out some of those shapes. You could have brought this part closer to the fairway. There are a few things that could have been done. Over here, we've got, I don't know. It's like, and I love Andre too. You guys know that. But Andre sometimes, when he gets into his bunkers, they end up looking like they have bubbles all over them because of the shapes that are being used. And, you know, while you're playing it, they look fine, usually. Sometimes from an overhead, you're going, okay, what happened here? It's like somebody's blowing bubbles and they just popped and turned into bunkers. It is what it is. I mean, there's different ways to accomplish the same thing. When it comes down to it, you can do a lot of things differently, but if you do them well, it doesn't matter. I just feel like there wasn't quite as much care put into some of this. And again, I am not saying that in a way to just tell you, oh, he was lazy and he didn't care. I could be totally wrong. It just feels slightly rushed in certain spots. Well, like I said, Ariel, some of them have, the last few have been a little better. What he does really, really well, and I've talked to him about this, he does video game golf really, really well. And And I think that's fine. There are a lot of folks, that's what they're looking for, is video game golf. He also does atmosphere really, really well. And to a lot of folks, atmosphere is the most important thing. And I'm here to tell you, if that is what you enjoy, you play it and you love it, and you just don't worry at all about what some curmudgeon like me has to say about it. Because again, it's a game, you paid for it, and you paid for it so you could have fun playing it. So screw the rest of us. You do you, man. Same with creating courses. If I'm sitting here doing a critique, I'm just giving you my opinions on some things. I think it's helpful, but if it's not helpful, then just, watch the first 5 minutes and then delete it and never watch it again and enjoy yourself. Is this? It is water. I guess. I mean, that's fine. I'm wondering why that's the only place that idea has cropped up so far, because it seems like it would have been in play a couple other places too. But that's okay. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. No, you're fine. It's not a tangent. It's fine. And here is Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. What are you doing? Oh, you're walking the stairs? That seems like a thing. Yeah, Nikita was a good job. The fact that you listed somebody else's course, though, means I have to ban you. So I hope you're ready for that. Just be prepared for the hammer. Yeah, I mean, if it's not going to be one of my courses, then you can just screw right off. I don't care. You like whatever you want. Long as I'm allowed to tell you you're stupid and have a bad opinion. Because, you're stupid and have a bad opinion. Or in the words of you haven't played mine? You haven't played any of my courses? Oh, what a turd burglar, dude. What is wrong with you? I didn't make Tara Edie. It's called Turuwero, and I did it with Stay Puffed. For an HB contest that was supposed to result in having it become an official course, but, HB. Oh, geez. Bison Run. That's an oldie. I got to tell you, though, the reason I even asked to hook up with the damn guys, I wasn't like, I want to be part of a club. It was more, I told Eric, I said, hey, I just am lacking in time and motivation to really just jam through a bunch of full courses all the time here. I'm a better editor than I am a creator at times. So I said I would much rather work in a group situation. I think that I could do a lot more good work that way. And I feel like, Ardoilian and Silver City, I think I contributed a ton on both of those, considering I sculpted them almost entirely. Hey, stop. If you want to play with that, you go play with it. But you got to let me keep doing this, okay? Well, that worked out pretty nicely. Yeah, Turuwero was a collab. Stay Puffed had done a couple of courses at that point, and we had a draft. We were supposed to draft. Okay, Eleanor, you got to go somewhere else. Take this somewhere else. Hang on a second then. Go on out. Go on. Well, and I did more than sculpt. I reshaped, redid some bunkering. They'll tell you. I mean, I basically took the holes that were there and made them fit together better, I think. And if anybody takes that as me saying they made crappy courses, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying sometimes having one person go through and try to, oh, I know you're kidding, but I'm just explaining, and try to fit all the pieces of a course together makes it a little more cohesive. Like Silver City, there were just some holes that just kind of stuck out a little bit. I'm going to talk about this course for just a minute, though, because I've just been kind of talking. These last few holes I've enjoyed. They've been better holes. I still think that we need to be a little more, I don't know. We've got all these cliffs and everything, but the course itself has just felt a little not as much, I don't know, not as dynamic as the surroundings of the course, and I feel like it should be. I will say on Tour Aware, though, and Stay Puft will tell you this, we had a draft, and I drafted him and one other guy who basically just went AWOL and, you know, never to be seen again. I told Stay Puft, I said, look, I like your whole ideas, but I think I can take them and make them work. And so that's kind of how we worked. I laid out the first 3 holes, then I said, here, you know, chuck a couple of those out there. Oh, no, just self-taught, buddy. I caddied for a number of years and, you know, have just been around golf for a long time. You couldn't tell right now the way I'm playing, but that's another story entirely. But no, there's no industry insight or anything like that for me. There are a couple of guys here who are in the industry, at least tangentially, but no, not me. But then Stay Puft laid out the next 2 holes, 4 and 5, and sent them to me, and I took them and took the general ideas and then mooshed them and smushed them around, you know, changed the bunkering around a little bit, resculpted, did a little work on them, and then would send them back and say, okay, here's kind of the direction I'm thinking. So we would go back and forth like that. And I think he'll tell you he picked up a ton on that project, and so did I, because I liked some of his whole ideas especially. But we worked pretty well together there. Boy, there have been a lot of drivable holes on this, especially in the wind that we have today. And I like the wind the way it is. It's been kind of fun. Yeah, that's not going to turn around, is it? Nope. All right. Oh, no, he's not crap at all. He does great work. But I just mean, if you go ask him, he'll say, you know, yeah, working with somebody with some finishing skills at that point was very beneficial. And I think the same thing is true, like with our Doylean in Silver City. You know, some folks are really good at creating, other people are good at editing. I'm good at editing. Well, you need to go play Silverback, the Silverback. That's going to be, I still think that's his best work. And it ought to be, because he beat me in a contest with that one. Even though, and I'll give him a hard time about this, but primarily because I had questionable routing on 2 of the holes and got dinged for it. Yes, the Silverback. That's the one you're going to want to play of his. This is not going to be enough, is it? I don't know. I think it'll cut through the wind. Let's see. These last few holes have been better holes. I think the placement on here is better. Which course did it beat? Einstacht Foss Golfkluber, which was a course designed to be in Iceland. The theme of that contest was you had to pick a country. And I decided to choose first. So I said, I'm going to choose the one that I think is the hardest. And I was right. It only took me 4 plots to figure it out. All right, I need to zoom around here and talk about this course a little more. I'm sorry I haven't. Like I said, I think this course has picked up steam as it's gone along. I think it started off a little slowly. The planting is understated, which I like. We still haven't gotten the cliffs as involved. I mean, there were a few holes where we did, like this par 5, they were involved pretty good. There were a couple other ones. But the bunkering on this one is a little better. Like I feel like it's a little more in play, and it frames nicely. I think some of the sculpting has been a little questionable. Not in that it is bad, just that it's not been. I don't know. There hasn't really been a. That slow killed me. There hasn't really been a great theme to it, if that makes sense. But there have been more memorable holes on the back. I'll put it that way. Like I will remember playing some of those. Some of the ones on the front, I just felt like I was just playing to play. And if you asked me about it later, I'd go, I have no idea. But some of these ones on the back are great. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And had that one been designed in 19, it would have been a different. It would have been done slightly differently too, because the way the tree trick doesn't really work the same way anymore. But using that in 2 worked really well to create those rocky looks. That was a lot of fun. This is a nice finishing hole. I feel like, again, the sculpting, if you had let, granted I had the wind in my face, but I feel like if you had sculpted this to allow me to run down a little bit more. I hate this camera so much. And again, been a little more dynamic on the bunkering early. See, these bunkers too, they're way away from the green. It's a par 5, so it works okay, especially since it's a real 3-shotter here, unless you've got good wind. No, I'm not going to renovate. In fact, to get it published in 19, I had to delete like an entire forest's worth of buried trees, and that was a huge pain in the butt. I almost just gave up on it, but I finally went back and fiddled with it and got it published. This is a nice course. I think it's going to find a spot on tour. I think people are going to play it and enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't Old Henry Shipyard, and I hate it, to compare courses from the same designer even. But I feel like that course really raised everybody's expectations, and I think there were some good things done there. But again, it just didn't feel quite as finished. That's just my opinion. It wasn't quite as finished. And I am sorry, violin guy, that I got off to talk on my own stuff and some other things a lot. But the final word on that one is it's a good course. It's fun. The lighting's good. The holes themselves are fine. Some of the short holes especially I thought were great. Par 5s that you could get home in on 2. Some of the par 4s that did use the cliffs a little more. There were just a few holes I felt that were a little safe. Some green complexes where the bunkers were a little kind of out of play. A couple of the par 3s, the early par 3s, just were okay. They needed just a little, I don't know, take your volume knob and turn it up just a little bit more. I felt like we were kind of hovering around that 7.5 on the volume level, and you needed to turn it all the way up to 10. Anyway, I will be back with the last one here in just a minute.